Hi, and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast, another Authors Tuesday. Today, I'm delighted to be having another guest on the podcast, another guest author, Veronica Stanley-Hooper, who's written a book all around Halloween. So, the season that's in it now, it's going to be great to talk to her. She's going to play an a video of the book as well, which is great. So, Veronica, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you asking.
Yeah, no, it's great to have different guests on from all over the place. You're from
I'm from
California.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great place for music. They wrote a lot of songs about California.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things and maybe not so great things, but I really like it here. Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, so we'll probably just start off the podcast. If you want to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and the books you've written, would be great, please.
Okay. Well, so I was a teacher for a very long time, and I actually ended up leaving the classroom to homeschool my own children.
Yeah,
And after they've grown, I decided that I wanted to put all of my skills together and write some children's books. And what I found with the public school community and in homeschool is maybe parents could use a little help using books to touch on social emotional skills. So all of the books that I've written really help to start the dialogue for parents with so my first book that I wrote is Play, and it's all about the importance of play and pretend play. And that one helps parents learn and kids learn that playing is really important, and it helps you feel good about yourself, and you learn skills like being kind and being thoughtful and
mhm.
and feeling smart about yourself. And then my next one I did because I just love Halloween. I love we
Yeah, yeah,
always really do it up here. So
that's it.
I decided I really wanted to do a Halloween book. And I don't know if you remember, but the Peanuts characters like Charlie Brown,
Yeah,
have you
Charlie
ever
Brown. Yeah, yeah. I used to read
seen?
them
Okay.
to my own kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
Great, yeah,
So that's
yeah,
where I got my two characters. There's
yeah.
Millie behind me. She's in the Green Witch costume, and there's Jack, and he's her little brother.
Oh
And
wow,
so
yeah.
they kind of remind me of like Lucy and Linus a little bit.
Hmm.
She's got it all together and she knows just what to do. But poor
Yeah,
little Jack here, he doesn't understand Halloween. And so that's kind of the basis for the book.
great. Oh no, it looks great. Absolutely brilliant. And and how long ago did you write the book yourself? Was it recently or?
Well, so I did the book last year was its debut, and I finished it up just in time for Halloween last year.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And but this year I had a lot of time to really plan and get a jump start on it.
Yeah.
So I've been working this year and doing readings, and I have a Barnes and Noble reading next week on the
Oh, wow.
28th. So
Right.
that's super fun. I'm looking forward to that. But I've
Great.
been able to get out a lot more with kids, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah. No, it's amazing going to different libraries and all that to read for kids because kids just love it, don't they? Have such a great imagination.
It is true, and just getting that vibe back from them and their
Yeah,
excitement and their chatter, it's so much more exciting than sitting at home.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because yeah, like our house is full of Halloween stuff everywhere, so so it
Yeah.
fits right into this book.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And and like, is this book? Did you get it by a publisher? Did a publisher do it for you, or did you self-publish the book, Veronica?
I self-published this book,
Okay,
and I have a, self-publishing company now, Hands On Learning Press, and
okay,
so, but I have, 2 other books that I'm out querying right now to traditional publications, and one is being entertained, so we'll see what happens. It's called The Meanies, and that one is also about children learning more about their emotions and how to control poor behavior.
great stuff. Yeah, brilliant. That one's with a publisher at the moment for approval, is it?
They're considering it, yes,
Oh,
so
great
I
stuff.
have to
Yeah,
wait a little while.
yeah, great stuff. And your first book, again, can you talk a little bit about that? Your first book you've done?
Yeah. So the first book I did is called Play. I don't know.
Yeah, I can
Sometimes
see
the
that.
green screen doesn't
I
do that
know.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, and that one is about a little girl named Brandy, and she walks through her day. Her dad takes her to school, and it's kind of like a pre-K situation. And so she meets all of her friends and how they play. So one of her friends pretends he's a teacher, and he feels very smart when he pretends that way.
Yeah,
And so she walks through all of her the different friends and what they're doing. There's a veterinarian, there's a person, one of her friends is playing doctor, another one is playing firefighter.
yeah,
And so she goes through all of those, and then she talks about how she even plays in her bed at night when she reads books, and she dreams about all the wonderful adventures she can have through reading. And then she wonders what she'll play tomorrow, and there's a picture of her as an astronaut. She's dreaming she's going to be an astronaut. So it's just a wonderful book about how good play makes us feel, and kind of subliminal message of get off the screens.
yeah, definitely. We all need a lot of that at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. No, definitely could get my hands on that book myself for my little fella. So I'll do that. You've another customer here.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
You'll
great
let
stuff.
me know how he likes it.
Yeah, definitely. Where
Yeah.
can people get your books? On Amazon and
They are. I have a website, veronica-stanley-hooper.com.
yeah.
And my books are on there. I'm also an illustrator, and I do animation as well. So there's a lot on my website to explore. And I also sell my books on Amazon. So they're everywhere, pretty much Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Target. They're everywhere. You can just search the titles in my name and they'll pop up.
Great stuff. That's brilliant. Because did you do all the illustrations for that book, your new book? Well
Yeah.
done. They're absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
great stuff.
appreciate that. Yeah, I really, that's my passion. I really love illustration. I was always fond of teaching kids art when I was a
Yeah.
teacher. So
Mhm.
mhm.
Yeah, it's such a great skill to have really for any kind of creativity is great for children, isn't it?
It is. It is. And that's the way I taught in my classroom, and that's the way I taught my kids and
Mm.
several other kids when we taught homeschool. So,
Yeah.
I just feel like kids, if they can be imaginative,
Mm.
then as they grow older, they start problem solving better. And all kinds of problem solving happens better. Math problem solving, how can I solve this algebra problem? It's a skill that if we start them off young,
Yeah.
then it comes natural to them as they get older. And who doesn't problem solve as a parent, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that little Lego drops down the hole. How am I going to get that out? Put
Yeah.
some gum on a stick and I'm going to shove it down there, right? And get that Lego out. So, I mean, we're problem solving all the time. So it's so important for kids to play and think and use their imagination.
Definitely, yeah. No, that's brilliant, yeah. Thanks a lot for that. And well, can I ask as well, have you always been a writer? As where did the journey start for yourself, Veronica? Have you always written?
Oh yeah. I've been writing since I was a kid. I always aspired to be a writer,
Yeah,
but my passion has always been with being with kids. And that's why I went into teaching,
yeah,
because I knew I could be creative in my classroom
yeah,
and also be helpful and be with kids. I love the energy. I love seeing the light bulbs go off when they get excited about learning. So
yeah.
that's always been, and so that it just seemed natural to me now that I'm not in the classroom anymore, to combine all those talents, and just write books now.
Great stuff, yeah. But I'd say the children you taught love you, I'd say. They all loved you teaching them.
I had so much fun, and I love it when I hear the kids come back now because they're older, and
Yeah,
then they tell me, I taught a STEM class. Do you know what that is? STEM. It's
I think I heard
it's
of it
it's
before, yeah.
science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay, yeah,
And I taught it to some middle school children, and we used art and we created projects. One of those projects, I taught them about wiring electrical circuits, and we
wow, yeah,
used Christmas lights to wire them together and
mm,
then create a project.
yeah,
And one of my students came back to me last year and said, you know what? I took that skill, and the Christmas lights on my tree went out, but I got them to work again, and I rewired the whole tree. I was like, "Oh, it's I
there you
was
go, yeah,
that's the teacher wants to hear, right? Like
yeah, big
something
one,
taught them stuck and it worked."
yeah.
Yeah,
Because they
it
kind
was
of link stuff they did before to something else, so that's brilliant, isn't it?
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I
Yeah,
I really enjoyed teaching, yeah.
yeah, great stuff. Yeah, so you're gonna show us the video of your book.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. So this is great. This is the first on the podcast. So thanks a lot for this, Veronica.
Oh, No problem. I'm just going to share my screen
Brilliant. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Great stuff.
we'll get started. Let's see. Scary Halloween Costumes by Veronica Stanley-Hooper. If you're reading along, turn the page when you hear the sound of the bell. It's Halloween, time for pumpkins, decorations, and costumes, Dad says as he takes out the bins and boxes from the garage. Costumes, Millie and Jack shout together. Millie and Jack look through the bins and boxes for the perfect Halloween costume. Ooh, I can be a witch. I'm a banana, says Jack. That's not a good costume, Jack. Pick something scary, says Millie. I can be a worm. No, worms are scary. You scream every time you see one. I'm a washing machine. Mommy says the laundry room is a scary place. Eek! This laundry room is scary. No, Jack, pick something really scary, says Millie. Fire! Fire is very scary. Nope, not the right kind of scary, Jack. A stranger. No. The dark. I'm scared of the dark. No, Jack. A dog. No. But everyone is scared of the neighbor's dog. You're just not scary, Jack. Jack was feeling really sad when all of a sudden, I have an idea! Oh! Ah! I scared you! Yes, you scared me, Jack. Now we are both ready for a scary Halloween. Happy Halloween, say Millie and Jack. Mom and Dad smile when they hear the neighbor say, "Oh my, such scary costumes." Remember to buy your copy of Scary Halloween Costumes either on my website or on Amazon. Happy Halloween!
Yeah, so that was brilliant, Veronica. Absolutely. I love the bell for the children to turn the page. That's a great idea.
Did you have those books when you were a kid where it was you listened to it on tape or on CD and then you turn the book? Or
Yeah,
you
we
just,
used to have we used to have them years ago. God, yeah. That's bringing back memories, yeah.
I know I had
Yeah.
those in my classroom. I had a whole listening center, so kids who were English as a second language kids,
Yeah.
they could learn reading while when they were done with their other work. You know, they could just go back there and learn to read by turning the pages of a book. And
Yeah.
I don't see those around anymore, so I figured it
No,
might be fun to bring those back.
great idea because funny you should say that because I remember even what the story is about that my dad used to get me, it's it's crazy when if you flashback,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fun.
because it's great for like young kids, like for the likes of maybe what age group is it for? Like from kindergarten up, is it, or what's your age
Well,
group?
my target audience is about 3 to 6
Yeah,
at test groups, and I did a lot of test groups, and the parents that are buying the book now seem to be in that age range, and
right.
the children who are in kindergarten find it very easy to read, and that's my goal. That was my goal. I really wanted kids to be able to read it on their own when they're of reading age.
Yeah,
Um, the pandemic kind of did a number on some
yeah,
kindergarten students who were learning how to read, and it was very hard for them to learn how to read on a video screen and do Zoom school. So that was my goal, is I really wanted to have a book that was age appropriate for early readers.
yeah. That's great. You've really done a great job there. Yeah,
Thanks.
really. And is there like a CD that's sold with the book? Is that the way you do it, or is it?
No, I have it that same recording is on my website right now.
Oh, very
And I
good.
have
Yeah,
it on
great
YouTube as
idea.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great
Then
idea.
they,
Yeah,
once they have the book, they can read it along on my website.
that's a great idea. Well done. Yeah, that yeah, because you do these podcasts, you get so much different tips from from different
Yeah,
authors. It's great.
we can all learn from each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Do you have like other merchandise to go with the books? Have you thought about doing that or?
Not as of yet. I don't have any other merch. The book is only a year old.
Yeah.
So, and
Okay.
last
Yeah.
year it started up as I kind of got a late start in September because, I only had a month. So now that I see the momentum for the book growing, and that's definitely a place I want to go.
Brilliant. And are they in bookshops as well, Veronica? Do you have them in any bookshops and libraries?
Yes. Yeah, they are. They're in right now, Barnes and Noble is carrying them as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm doing a book reading for Barnes and Noble on October
Brilliant.
the 28th. Yeah,
Listen, the
right
best of
in
luck
my
with that.
little
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah. And is that online? That'll obviously go on your website as well.
Yeah, you can buy it on my website. You can it's at Walmart, it's at Target, it's all over Barnes and Noble. There's a number of bookstores that carry it. All you have to do is really search for on Google, just search Scary Halloween Costumes by Veronica Stanley-Hooper, and there'll be tons of things that pop up.
Great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be
thanks.
definitely looking for that. Great
Thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah. And can I ask you as well? I know they're shortening up books, but I just asked like different authors that come on, do you kind of have a different strategy you use for your writing? Like, do you kind of have a set time for writing, or what way do you do it yourself?
So, because I am an illustrator and an animator too, I kind of piece my own work in between jobs. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm not illustrating for someone else, then I get my work in.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, busy, busy all the time.
It's true. I'm writing one right now and I'm really pretty happy about it. But I think I'm going to try traditional publication for that one right off the bat. I've had some people take a look at it and have had some really great reviews. So I'm going to try that first and see if I can't get a publisher to pick it up.
Yeah, no, the best of luck with that. Because I suppose the best thing to have a publisher, you don't have to do all the kind of the hard work yourself, like getting it out there and going to the bookshops and all.
It's true. And I think that it's just a different beast. So I'd like to be, diverse. I'd like to have some indie books published. I'd like to have some traditional books published
Yeah.
and really diversify myself as, in my career. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great stuff. And I can ask you as well, kind of what keeps you motivated in your writing, Veronica, as well? What would you say keeps you motivated?
Kids.
Your kids,
Kids
yeah,
keep me
definitely.
motivated.
Yeah,
I was one of 16 grandchildren and I was the oldest.
yeah,
And back then I grew up in the 80s when pretty much kids were free range. And so I was in charge of all of those kids at every family gathering, and we gathered together as a very large family almost every weekend.
yeah.
So, and ever since then, I have always loved being around kids, helping kids, and just being a voice when they don't have a voice. So
Great. Yeah, oh, that's great. But no, that's great. I really thank you for sharing that video. It's absolutely brilliant.
thank you. I appreciate that. It's fun to do videos like that. I have an animation business as well, so I like to bring other people's stories to life.
Great stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. And can I ask as well, how was like the pandemic for yourself? Did that affect your writing much, or
It
how was
gave
that
me an
for you guys?
awful lot of time to write.
Yeah, I hear you.
I
Yeah.
think the hardest part was after the books were done,
Mm,
it was harder to get out there
yeah,
and read to
mm,
kids because nobody was open. And so, and you don't get that same energy doing Zoom, readings
exactly.
for
No, you
kids.
don't.
Yeah, it's a little harder too because you never know when the Wi-Fi is going to cut out or,
Mm,
it's just, yeah. So I really like it now because
yeah,
we get to get out and get that energy and have a more authentic reading experience. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. And do you visit much of the libraries yourself? Do you go around to libraries and do readings for skills? Have you done that?
I haven't been to a library yet. I have been out to like local businesses. I just
Oh,
did a pumpkin patch yesterday. I was out at a pumpkin patch and we had groups of 2 and 3 year olds coming through and I was reading the book. I've gone to kidlit festivals where you read to children. It's like a bunch of authors all together and the kids kind of move around from place to place and listen to books. So that's
great.
also very fun, and a lot of homeschool groups, they have picnics and things like that, and fairs, so especially back to school fairs. So then that was fun fun. I did a few of those this year too. So it's been really, like I said before, last year I didn't have a lot of time in planning, but this year I started planning all of the events in July.
Mm.
So I have been so super busy, and it's been so much fun to just get out there and read the book.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done to you, Veronica. That's great.
Thank you.
As well as I've what I've started doing myself is selling my books at fairs. They have fairs here, like on a Sunday, like Sunday markets. Have you
Mhm.
ever done stuff like that?
Yeah, so we have a few of those coming up actually. We did a fall festival, and I actually, when I say we, I put together a group of indie authors in my area. So we've been working together as a collective,
Yeah,
and it kind of makes those vendor fairs. Sometimes you have to pay a fee to participate,
yeah,
and it makes
yeah.
them a little more affordable,
Mm.
because then
Yeah,
we split.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
split the fee, and then it works really well for all of us then. So yeah, we have a lot of them actually coming up, and I'll be selling play during those vendor fairs. Yeah.
Great stuff. Brilliant. Yeah, the best of luck with that. Yeah, because I find it's a great way of getting because on Amazon the sales can be kind of slow, but when you're out talking to people about your book, it kind of helps, doesn't it?
It really does. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think they feel the energy. And, when you get down to the level of the
Mhm.
kids feel the energy. I
Yeah.
also, I made some coloring pages for my books. And so then I offer those as free activities, and so then it just creates a more like fun environment for
Definitely.
everybody,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. Yeah,
instead of
brilliant.
just selling a book. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It adds to it big time. Yeah,
yeah.
and you'll have to share your website with me, and like for people to contact you as well. I can put it on the show notes for you as well, Veronica.
Perfect. That's great. I think I sent you an email actually
Yeah,
already.
yeah. I missed that email. My apologies for that, but I'll look all the information's on that, so I can share that on the show notes. That's great.
Perfect. Yes, that'd
Thanks
be
a lot.
great. And if anybody, I have a contact form on my website. If
Yeah,
anybody has any questions about the book or about anything else that we've talked about here today, they could just fill out that form, and then I'll
brilliant.
get back
Yeah.
to them. Yeah.
Yeah, can I just ask you as well your favorites yourself, a few of your favorites, your favorite kind of books to read yourself, Veronica? What's your favorite books or favorite authors? It doesn't have to be your favorite book, but just something that comes to mind.
So, I think in children's books, Shel Silverstein has always been a huge, guy for me in children's books. I love the poetry in those. They're so funny, so entertaining. I mean, that's it's great kid stuff. And then as an adult, in adult books, I just love murder mysteries. So that's kind of opposite of kids, but I guess
Yeah, yeah.
I just love murder mysteries. So it's kind of where I get my adult time in after doing kid stuff all day.
Yeah, and do you ever write different type of books? As we thought about going into that kind of thing as well? If is that something that interests you?
I have, I've started a bunch of different kinds of books. I started a or horror story. I started um, a parenting helping book.
Brilliant.
A
Wow,
parent
yeah.
help book. But I never finished those. As I just can't stay focused. It's my passion is in illustration and in
Yeah,
art and
yeah,
kids,
yeah. Oh,
so
great.
it just
Yeah,
really is. I just keep going back to that, and
yeah.
that's really where I love to be.
Mm. But I love that you've got that on the burner. If you ever, you can go back to it as well. That's a good thing about starting
It's
stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll probably do a pen name if I do those. I don't think that that's a good way to mix up the genres.
No, no. Yeah, yeah. And do you ever listen to music when you write, or do you just shut off music when you're working?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I have a waterfall in my backyard, so I kind of open up my back door and I
Yeah.
listen to the waterfall, and maybe I'll put some, ambiance on the TV, just visual images. Like right now, you can dial it up on YouTube, but you type in Halloween backgrounds and they have all of these cool little backgrounds that come up. I put that on and I just kind of immerse myself in like peacefulness, and then that's when it all comes out.
Yeah, I think my son watches that as well. All the Halloween
Oh,
stuff.
does
He's
it?
Halloween mad, you know.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
have to,
it's fun.
I'll have to let him watch this video like that of the podcast. You're like, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate coming on the podcast. It's been great talking to you, Veronica, and I wish you all the success with everything you do.
Yeah, we need to stay in touch. There's so much we can learn from each other. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, one more thing before you go, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners, if you have any advice to give to them about writing, or in general, what would you say to them?
I would say get it on paper, get it all down. Don't worry about imperfections. Just get it all down, get your ideas down. Then go back in and refine. Because once you have your idea out, and you have to have a rhino hide. Those are my two pieces of advice. You have to listen to criticism. Take good advice from your editor, whoever it is, and make sure you get a good editor that will give you the brutal truth. Because sometimes what you're writing misses the mark, but your editor might have a way that you can hit it a little better, and get your point across. And especially in kids books, because we have such a limited word count that we can work with.
Mhm.
There may be a more effective way to say what you want to say, and you might just be blind to that because you read it so many times yourself.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
really listen to your editor, ask for the hard truth. And that's the way you're going to make a children's book that kids love, parents love, and it's going to sell for you too. Yeah.
That's brilliant advice. Thank you so much, Veronica. That's great.
Oh, thanks. I'm so glad that we got to meet each other and we could talk today.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to keep that advice on board as well. So thank you for that.
Oh, great. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So thanks again. You're so kind for coming on. So that was Veronica Stanley-Hooper, everybody from California, lovely California. So thanks again for coming on, Veronica, and we'll talk to you real soon for another podcast. Best of luck, Veronica. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Hello everyone, Mark here. Thank you for watching another episode of my Authors Tuesday podcast. I recently published a book of children's stories called The Adventures of Larry Lamppost and Friends. The book began life as bedtime stories I wrote for my own children. If you'd like to purchase my book, follow the link in the description box below. By buying my book, you are also supporting my podcast series for authors, which is giving a voice to writers in Ireland and across the world.